Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. All right. So we have to start a new chapter in statistics. So today we will start a diagrammatic presentation of data. In the last session, I think we have completed, which chapter we have completed? All right. So in the previous class, we were doing organization of data. And in organization of data, we have understood various types of continuous series. All right. So in today's session, we will be talking about the presentation of data. So the first chapter that we did in the statistics was actually collection of data. Collection of data was all about how investigator conduct the statistical inquiry and collect various kinds of information. What are the different method by which he can collect information? In the chapter of organization of data, we have discussed how the data can be organized in different types of series. Now, in this session, in this class, in this particular chapter, we will be talking about the presentation of data. So the data that investigator collect by different method by applying various method, that is census or sampling. Now he will be presenting that data in the diagrammatic form. So let's start. What is a diagrammatic representation of data? So see, when data is presented in the diagrammatic form, there are various types of diagrammatic representations are there. Data can be presented in the geometric form or the frequency distribution or in the form of time series. Geometric form of diagrammatic representation can be further classified as the bar diagram and pie diagram. And frequency diagram is also categorized into three parts: histogram, polygon, and ogive. All right. So these are the various types of diagrammatic representation of the data. So we will be in this class, we will only be talking about the bar diagrams. All right, everyone. So what is a diagrammatic representation? Diagrammatic representation
Oh, your
basically means,
screen is a little bit blurred. Could you share your screen?
yeah, just a minute, Alicia. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, everyone. So just a minute. All right. So first of all, write this down, everyone. Do let me know when you are done. Types of diagrammatic presentation. Put a heading of the chapter, diagrammatic presentation of data, and write down the various types of diagrammatic presentation. Please note this down. Do let me know when you are done. Then we will be talking about the bar diagram. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the various diagrammatic representation of data. First one is the geometric form of presentation. Then we will do frequency distribution. Then after that, time series. So geometric form of diagrammatic representation can be categorized into two parts. One is called the bar diagram and the other is called the pie diagram. So in today's session, we will only be talking about the bar diagrams. So let's start. First of all, let's start with the bar diagram only. So what is a bar diagram? We will start with the meaning. So bar diagram are those diagrams in which data are presented in the form of bars or rectangles or columns. All right. So when data is presented in the form of column, bars, or basically rectangular bars, then such kind of diagrammatic representation is called bar diagram. Let me give you an example to illustrate this. Just a minute. All right. So see, if data are presented in this format, if data is presented in this format, so this is y-axis of the graph, and this one is x-axis. If data is present, suppose these are the various data regarding, for example, let's say we are talking about production of cycles in different years. We are talking about production of cycles in different years. So we have data regarding production of cycles, and data is given in this format. For example, these are the years. Let's say year is 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So in different years, what is the total amount of production of bicycle in the country? Data is representing the production of cycle in the country during the period of 1 year. So for the year 2017, let's suppose total number of cycles that has been produced in the year 2017 was 50,000. 50,000 cycles were produced. In the year 2018, 40,000 cycles were produced. In the year 2019, 70,000 cycles were produced. And in the year 2020, let's suppose 65,000 of cycles were produced. So these are the data. All right. And on the basis of this data, we will be presenting this data on a diagrammatic form. See, this data is presented right now. This is called the tabular representation of data. This is the data regarding what? This is our data regarding production of cycle in different years. So this is now currently the data is in the tabular form. We need to convert it into the diagrammatic form, and that too in the form of bar diagrams. So what are bar diagrams? When these data is presented in this format, suppose for the year 2017, you are making a rectangular bar to indicate the production of cycle in the year 2017. And this is how you are depicting the production of cycle in the year 2017. This indicate in the year 2017, we have produced 50,000 of cycles. All right, this is called, this particular rectangular bar is called, this column is called, this is a bar, this one is called bar, or you can also call it rectangular columns. So bar diagrams are what? Bar diagram are diagram wherein data are presented in the form of rectangular columns. All right, everyone. So for the year 2018 as well, we have presented the data in the diagrammatic form in this format. For the year 2018, we have done this much of production, so 80,000. For the year, oh, actually it was 40,000. So let's change it, 80,000. And for the year 2019, it was 70,000. So 2018, and for 2019, it was 70,000. So let's assume that 70,000 will be somewhere here. So this is 70,000. All right, getting my point, everyone, that I am presenting the data in the diagrammatic form. presenting the data in the diagrammatic form, and which diagram I'm using to depict the diagram the data. I am depicting the data in the form of bar diagrams. Bar diagram. These are called bar. These rectangular columns are called bars. So I hope the meaning of bar diagram is clear to all of you. That bar diagram is what? Bar diagram are those in which data are presented in the form of bar or rectangular columns. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, this is how the bar look like. This is the example of bar diagram. And one of the feature of bar diagram is that length or height of the bar diagram may differ depending upon the different values, but the breadth of the bars will remain same. Breadth will remain same. All right, guys, the value, the basically the height or the length of bar depends upon the variable, depend upon the number. So the height or length of the bar will keep on changing depending upon the variable or number, depending upon the production, for example. And but irrespective of the length, breadth will remain always same. The breadth of each of the rectangular column will remain exactly same every time. Okay, is this clear to all of you? This is
Yes.
one of the feature of the bar diagram. All right, let's move to the next feature. Next feature of the bar diagram is that bar diagram can be made either horizontally or vertically. If you prepare a diagram in this format, just like I have just drawn on paper, that was a simple bar diagram. This is also called vertical bar diagram. This is also called vertical bar diagram. But there is one another way of presenting this uh, bar diagram, that is called horizontal bar diagram. All right, everyone. So this is one of the second feature of the bar diagram, that it can be vertical and it can also be horizontal. So it can both be horizontal and vertical. Next is one of the next feature is that all the bars are equidistant from each other. Do you understand the meaning of equidistance? See, the difference between each of the bars will always be same. The difference between each bar will always remain same. So bars are equidistant from each other. This is the third feature of the bar diagram. Tell me, everyone, is this clear? All the features of the bar diagram are clear to all of you. First was that length or height of the bar diagram may differ, but breadth will always remain same. Second feature was the bar diagram can be horizontal, it can be vertical. All right, you can, depending upon the convenience, you can make the vertical bar diagram or the horizontal bar diagram. Next is the distance between each of the bars are always remains same. They are equidistant from each other. All right, is there any doubt,
No, sir.
Arish?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right. One last feature of the bar diagram is that all bars have common baseline. All bar have common. This is the baseline. Basically, we are drawing each of the bar on the basis of subject. So the baseline for drawing every bar is always same. It cannot happen that you started making the bar diagram on the basis of subject, then you switch to the production. You will always be making bar diagram on the common baseline only. Is that clear to all of you? So there are 4 features of bar diagram. First was length may differ, but breadth will always remain same. Second was it can be vertical, it can be horizontal. Third was they are equidistant from each other. And the fourth one was that all the bars have common baseline. All right. Now let's move to the next slide, wherein bar diagrams has been further categorized into 4 parts. Bar diagram can be a simple bar diagram or a multiple bar diagram. It can be a subdivided bar diagram or percentage bar diagram. Bar diagram can be of 4 types: simple, multiple, subdivided, percentage. So simple bar diagram is also categorized into two parts, vertical bar diagram and horizontal bar diagram. So that we have already understood in the previous slides. So let's move. First of all, let's discuss about what is a simple bar diagram. See, this is a simple bar diagram are those diagrams which are based on a single set of numerical data. There is a writing mistake, spelling mistake. This is actually set. So simple bar diagram are those bar diagrams in which set of which are drawn on a single set of data. That means there is only one information that is required to be presented on the diagram. Like in this example, we have different years, and in different year we are just considering the birth rate in different years. So uh, over the period of time, only birth rate has been measured. So birth rate is the set, and for this information we will be preparing the simple bar diagram. All right. So how we will be preparing the simple bar diagram? First of all, we will take two axes, x-axis and y-axis. So this will be our y-axis. All right. And this will be our x-axis. Just let me show you on sheet. See, in order to prepare the simple bar diagram, we will take two axes, y-axis and the x-axis. On the x-axis, we will take the years. On the y-axis, we will take the variables. And in this example, birth rates are the variables. Birth rate in different years. So data start from the year 1951 to 1960. So 1951 to 60. The birth rate for this year is 45%, then 35, 30, 28, 24, 20. So let's first of all take the various classes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right. So first of all, we will present the data regarding 1951 to 1960. The birth rate in this year is how much? 45%. So 45% will be somewhere here. All right. So I will be making a bar diagram like this. This is the bar diagram indicating that 45% is the birth rate. 45 is the birth rate, sorry. Next, in the year 1961 to 70, birth rate is 35. So 35 will be somewhere here. You just have to ensure that the distance between each bar is equal, and width should also be equal. I don't have the scale. So I'm assuming that both the size of both the bars are equal. So this is 35. In the year 1961 to 1970. Then for the year 1971 to 1980, the birth rate was 30%. So 30% will be somewhere here. 30%. 1971 to 1980. This is 30. And for the year 1981, sorry, 1981 to 1990 is 28. 928 will be somewhere below 30. So this is 28, I guess. So 1981 to 1990. Then for the year 1991 to 2000, this will be 1991 to 2000, it was 24. So 24 will be somewhere here. 1991 to 2000. All right, everyone. Is this clear how we make the simple bar diagram? This is the simple vertical bar diagram. Is this
Yes.
clear? Anyone having any doubt regarding the simple bar diagram? Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Other than Samiksha, what about everyone else?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a simple bar diagram, and because we have drawn the bars vertically, therefore this will be known as the simple vertical bar diagram. Now you can also prepare this diagram horizontally, and in that case, we will be preparing the bar diagram in this format. This is how it will be formed. So on the y-axis this time we will be taking the different years, and on the x-axis we will be taking variables, the birth rates. All right. Next is multiple bar diagram. So how multiple bar diagram is different from the simple bar diagram is that in case of simple diagram, we present only single set of data on the bar diagram. But in case of multiple bar diagram, we present two or more set of data on the bar diagram. So simple bar diagram are those diagram which shows multiple bar diagram are those diagram. This is not simple. There's multiple bar diagram are those diagram which shows two or more set of data simultaneously. So for every year, 1951 to 60, 1961 to 70, 1971 to 80, 1981 to 90, we have two data for every year, birth rate and death rate. And these data are required to be presented on the diagram. So because we have two data this time, we'll have to prepare multiple bar diagram. Multiple bar diagram basically means that we'll have to prepare two bars for every year. For 1951 to 60, we will be preparing two different bars to indicate birth rate as well as death rate. So let me give you an example to explain this concept. Just a minute. Okay. So let's say for every year, there are, for example, let's talk about only 2019, 2020, 2021. Data is production of wheat in the country, production of rice in the country during 2019, 20, and 21. So for the year 2019, total output produced was 50,000 tons of wheat, then 30,000 tons of wheat in the 2020, then 70,000 tons of wheat in the year 2021. All right. And for the year 2019, we have one more data. We have data regarding rice production as well. So in the year 2019, total rice production was 40 tons. Then it was 60 tons. Then 50 tons. These are the different information. Basically, there are two data regarding every year. So in order to present this data on the diagram, we'll have to prepare the multiple bar diagram. This time, this data cannot be presented using the simple bar diagram. We will have to prepare multiple bar diagram. That means this time also we will be taking two axes, y-axis and x-axis. This is y, this is x. And on x-axis again, we will be taking the value of years. Different years will be presented on the x-axis, years. And production of wheat and rice will be shown on the y-axis, wheat and rice. All right, so for the year 2019, for the year 2019, total wheat production is how much? Let's say total wheat production is because it is 50,000. So let's assume this bar diagram is indicating 50,000 tons of production of wheat. And in the year 2019, total rice production is 40,000. All right. So obviously this is less than the production of wheat. So we will be making one more bar diagram for the year 2019. And this time this will be lower than the production of wheat. So the height of this will be less than the height of the wheat bar diagram. So this shaded bar diagram indicate the production of wheat, and the blank one is basically rice. So we will also have to make indicators. So this basically shows, this bar shows production of wheat, and the blank one will be showing production of rice. All right. So for the year 2019, how many bars we have drawn? We have drawn 2 bars for the year 2019. Similarly, for the year 2020, we will also have to prepare 2 bars for the year 2020 as well. We will be preparing the bar for the production of wheat as well as for the production of rice. So this time the production of wheat is only 30,000. 30,000, but production of rice is double than the production of wheat. So this is all right. The shaded bar indicate production of wheat, and the blank bar indicate the production of rice. Tell me guys, is this clear? Anyone having doubt regarding the multiple bar
Yes, sir.
diagram?
No, sir.
Okay. So are you guys writing it down or taking a screenshot?
Sir, both.
All right. So do it fast. Just let me know when you're done. Instead of simple bar diagram, please
Yes, sir.
correct this. This should be multiple bar diagram.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's move to the next slide. On the basis of this data, I have drawn the multiple bar diagram. So this is how multiple bar diagram will be presented using this particular data. All right. Any difficulty with this?
No, sir.
All right. Just take the
No,
screenshot
sir.
of this slide, please. Then we will move to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the next type of diagram is subdivided bar diagram. Subdivided bar diagram. What is a subdivided bar diagram? So it refers to it refers to those diagrams which simultaneously present total value as well as part value of the set of data. So what is actually a subdivided bar diagram, that I will have to explain you through a quick example. Just a minute. All right. So let's take an example to understand subdivided bar diagram. Let's suppose there are 3 students. Students X, Y, and Z, and they have scored their marks in different subjects. So just a minute. There are 3 subjects: economics, accounts, and business studies. So in this subject, Mr. X in economics, Mr. X have scored, student X have scored, let's say 70 marks. In accounts, 80 marks, and in business studies, for example, 60 marks. Similarly, Y have scored 60 in economics, 50 in accounts, and 80, 90 in business. And for Z have scored 40 in economics, 80 in accounts, and 50 in business studies. All right. So using this information, we have to prepare the subdivided bar diagram. So first of all, just tell me, using this information, can we also draw the multiple bar diagram? Yes or no? Can we present this data on the multiple bar diagram? Yes or no? Tell me, everyone.
Yes,
We
sir,
will,
we can.
we can present this data on the multiple
Bar
bar diagram. Yes, but this time we are not required to prepare the multiple bar diagram, but we will be preparing the subdivided bar diagram. Okay, so see how this will be done. As usual, we will be preparing two axes, y axis and x axis. All right. On x axis, we will be keeping the students. So students on x axis, and marks in the different subjects they have scored. This will be kept on the y axis. Marks on y axis, students on x axis. All right. So first of all, let me just total all these marks. Total marks scored by X is 87, 150 and 210. And total of Y is 200. Total marks scored by Z is 170. Okay. So let's make the diagram. This is 50, 100, 150 and 200. One 50, 100 and 50 and 0. Okay. So first of all, let's present the marks scored by student X. Student X. First of all, we will be presenting marks scored by student X. So tell me the total marks you have scored in economics. So total marks you have scored in economics is 70. So we will be making a diagram, bar diagram till 70. So let's assume this is 50. So 60 and 70 will be somewhere here. So this is 70. This is 70. And this basically indicate marks scored in economics. This bar indicate marks scored in economics. All right. Tell me what is the marks scored in accounts by X. This is 80. All right. And now pay attention here. In order to indicate this value in the subdivided bar diagram, what we will be doing? We will be adding 70 plus 80. Tell me, what is the value of 70 plus 80? What is the sum total of 70 plus 80? 70 plus 80 equals to 150, right?
Yes, sir, 150.
Okay, so now what we will be doing, we will further extend this bar diagram till 150. Till 150. This indicate that till this point, this entire area indicate the marks scored in economics, and this entire area in the check shade indicate the marks scored in accounts. All right. So basically this is 60 and this is 80. This is 70 and this is 80. All right. Now what is the marks scored in business studies? Business, he have got 60 marks. So when you will add 60 in 150, it will be 200. further extend this bar diagram only till 210. So let's suppose this is 210. This is 210. So let's keep this column blank. So now look here. The shaded area, the vertical shaded area, the cross shaded area indicate marks scored in economics, and the check shaded area, the check shaded column indicate marks scored in accounts. The blank column indicate marks scored in business studies. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between multiple bar diagram and subdivided bar diagram? Anyone? Anyone will try this? What is the difference between multiple bar diagram and subdivided bar diagram? Samiksha? In case of multiple bar diagram, we have to prepare different bars in order to indicate different values regarding a particular person. So if we were making the multiple bar diagram for student X, we will be required to prepare three different columns to present the different marks scored in different subject by Mr. X. But because we are preparing the simple subdivided bar diagram, in case of subdivided bar diagram, we are not required to prepare multiple bar diagram. Instead, we prepare one bar diagram and divide the bar diagram into different categories. All right. So this time we do not have to prepare multiple diagram. This is the difference between multiple and subdivided bar diagram. All right. Similarly, yes.
So which is much more effective, like to analyze?
See, Samiksha, first of all, both are effective. Yes. Both are effective. Actually, it depends which one we will be forming, which kind of diagram we will be forming. It depends upon the data. If data is lengthy, if there are so many variables that are required to be presented on the diagram, then multiple, if we start presenting the data in the multiple using multiple bar diagram, then it will take a lot of space.
Yes.
And it will be more hectic to prepare such kind of data. Such kind of bar diagram. For example, like in this example, if we were making the multiple bar diagram, we'll have to prepare three rectangular bar for each student, right?
Yes, sir.
But by using subdivided bar diagram, we have presented the data of one student in one column.
In one column only.
And let's suppose if there were 5 or 10 subjects, for example, there are 10 variables.
Yes, so that time subdivided is much more.
Yes, so subdivided will be more easier, more effective. And so the point is that which kind of diagram you will be preparing, it depends upon the data, how many variables are given.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so for Y student, we will be doing same. First of all, we will be presenting the marks scored in economics. So marks scored in economics is 60. So 60 will be somewhere here. Let's assume that this indicates 60. Then he have scored 15 accounts. So we will add 50 and 60. So 60 plus 50, it will be 110. So now we will extend this bar till 110. This is somewhere here. 110 will lie. So this is 100. Let's extend this bar diagram till 110. This indicate marks in economics. The check shaded column indicate marks scored in accounts. Then 90 in business. So we will add 90 in 110. So it will become 200. So let's extend this bar till 200. This bar will be extended till 200. It will be kept blank. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Arisha? Arisha and Steve? Is there any doubt, both of you? Okay, so please write down the definition. It refers to those diagram which on just a minute. Yes, it refers to those diagrams which simultaneously present the total values as well as part values of the set of data. Different parts of the bars are shaded with different colors. This is also known as differential bar diagram. This will also be known as differential bar diagram. So either take the screenshot or write down the definition. Let's move to the next slide. So see, this is the information that we are required to present in the subdivided bar diagram form. So we have, what is the data we have? We have the information regarding different years. And then we have the hydroelectricity, production of hydroelectricity. And then we have information regarding thermoelectricity. And then we have the total column, total production. Collectively, hydroelectricity and thermoelectricity collective production is 110. Okay. So this is required to be presented on the form of subdivided bar diagram. So again, this is how we will be presenting this. See, this is how the diagrammatic representation of the subdivided bar diagram will look like.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, guys? Peer, Samiksha, Steve, and Arisha. Is there any doubt understanding subdivided bar diagram? Okay. I hope everything is clear. Let's move to the next diagram. Next is percentage bar diagram. Percentage bar diagram. This is a little lengthy. So first of all, let's cover the definition. Just a minute. Yes, okay. So percentage bar diagram or what? It refers to those diagrams which show simultaneously different parts of the values of a set of data in terms of percentage. The only difference between the percentage bar diagram and subdivided bar diagram is that in that case, we are presenting the data in the form of numbers. This time we will be presenting the data in the form of percentage. Percentage bar diagram exactly look like the subdivided bar diagram because we make the bars one over the other. So this basically takes less space on the diagram, but this exactly look like same as we prepare the subdivided bar diagram. The only difference is that the data presented on the percentage bar diagram is basically in the form of percentage. So we will be understanding that, but please take the screenshot of this slide, the definition part. It refers to those diagrams which show simultaneously different part of the values of a set of data in terms of percentage. And the percentage bar diagram are used generally when the values are of high magnitude. All right. So let's understand this through a small example. Okay, suppose these are the various marks scored by students in different subjects. So let's take only 2 students. All right. So there are 2 students. Why I'm taking only 2 students? Otherwise, it will get very lengthy. So these are the students. Ramesh and Suresh. Okay. And these are the various marks scored by them in different subjects. Let's take the previous example only. Economics, accounts, and business studies, BST. And we will be making a column for total as well. So Ramesh have scored, let's say 60 in the economics, 50 in accounts, and 90 in BST. All right. Similarly, Suresh have scored 70 in economics, 80 in accounts, and 50 in BST. So total marks scored by Ramesh is how much? It is 200. And total marks scored by Suresh is also 200. All right, everyone, this is the question. And on the basis of this question, we need to prepare the percentage bar diagram. So listen to me carefully. In other kind of diagram, we were actually drawing the diagram directly. But this time we'll have to calculate the percentage of different data. Only then we will be able to prepare the percentage bar diagram. So let's first of all calculate the percentage of all of these data. So we will be solving it like this. So students, just students and their marks. Ramesh. Ramesh have scored in economics 60 marks. Then in accounts, he have scored 50 marks. And in business studies, he have scored 90 marks. Total marks scored by him is how much? 200. All right. So what we are required to do, we will first convert the numerical values of Ramesh, marks scored by Ramesh. We will convert it into the percentage. So we will be writing marks in terms of percentage. Marks in percentage. All right. So tell me, if Ramesh have scored 60 marks in economics, can you tell me 60 is how much of total marks? 60 is how much percentage of total marks? Total marks is how much? 200. 200 is the total marks that he have got in all the subjects collectively. So 60 is how much of 200? This will be 30% of 200, right? So we will be
30%?
writing, yes, 30% of 200. All right. Similarly, 50 is how much of 200? So this is very simple, 25% of 200. And 90 is how much of 200? This will be 45%.
Yes.
45%. And 200 is how much of 200? So this is 100%. So
100%.
make sure the collective percentage of these marks must be equal to 100%. So 30 plus 25 is 55%. 55 plus 45, it should be 100%. Correct? So we have converted the marks scored by Ramesh in terms of percentage. And similarly, we will convert the marks scored by Suresh in terms of percentage. So first of all, let's write the marks of Suresh: 70, 80, 50, 200. And on the basis of this information, we will be converting the marks into percentage. So marks in terms of percentage. 70 is how much of 200? How much percentage of 200? So this is very simple, 35%. You can calculate this. You can also calculate how we will calculate this: 70 upon 200 in 200. You will calculate it. You will get 35%. So this is how we calculate the percentage. All right. So 80 is how much of 200? So this is 40%. And 50 is how much of 200? This is only 25%. Now add all these percentage. This should be equal to 100. 35 plus 40, 75% plus 25% is equal to 100%. All right. So first of all, we have to convert the series into the percentage term. And after the conversion, we will be preparing the percentage bar diagram. Now we are done with the calculation part. Now the only thing remain in this question is to present it in the diagrammatic form. See how we will be doing that. So for presenting it in the diagrammatic form, this time again we will be drawing two axes, y-axis and x-axis, x and y. And on x-axis we will be taking students, and on y-axis we will be keeping marks, but in terms of percentage. So let's first of all give the proper scaling to the y-axis. This is 0%. Then let's say this is 10%, 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Uh, 30%, then 20%, then 10%. All right. And on the x-axis, we will be keeping students. So first student is Ramesh. All right. Okay. So first of all, we on the percentage bar diagram, we need to present the data in the percentage form. So now this particular row will not be relevant for us. This particular row will also not be relevant for us. We will for the diagrammatic presentation, these rows, the rows in which the variables are in the form of percentage will only be relevant. So marks in economics is 35, then 25, then 45. Okay, so marks scored in 35, economics is 35%. So we will first be preparing the column, the bar for the marks scored in economics. 35% will be somewhere here. So this is, let's assume this is 35%. This indicate marks scored in economics, 35%. So we will shade it differently. Okay, now marks scored in accounts is 25%. So 30 plus 25 is how much? Tell me, 30 plus 25% is how much? 55%, right? So we will be extending this bar diagram till 55%, same as we were doing in the subdivided bar diagram. So it will be extended till 55%. Okay, and also shade this differently, like this, horizontally. And other than this, we have one more subject, BST, wherein we have scored 45% of the total marks. So 45 when added to 55, it will become 100. So this will eventually reach to the 100% level. This is 100%. Okay. You'll also have to draw the indicators. So this shaded column indicate marks scored in economics, and the horizontal shaded column indicate marks in accounts, and the diagonal type shape shaded area indicate marks in BST. All right. So this is how percentage bar diagram is made. So this time while preparing the percentage bar diagram, we have to apply a little extra effort because for presenting the percentage bar diagram, we have to convert the variables values into the percentage also. And after converting it into the percentage, then we will be preparing the percentage bar diagram only. So I think percentage bar diagram is also clear to all of you.
So this is also like a subdivided bar, like the subdivided bar diagram, like in one column, right?
Sorry?
The percentage bar diagram, it's like the subdivided bar diagram, the figure, right? Like in the same column.
Yeah, this is same as the subdivided bar diagram.
Different symbols inside.
Different subjects are presented in the
Yes.
the single column only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, guys. So it refers to those diagrams which shows.
Can you show the graph?
Sorry?
Can you show the graph just once?
The graph that I have drawn on the paper.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the percentage bar diagram are used generally when the values are high magnitude. So see, in case of percentage bar diagram, the maximum length of a bar cannot exceed 100%, right? So the maximum height of any rectangular bar will be equal to the 100% only. So this is this kind of bar diagram is suitable when the data magnitude of the data are too high. In that case, percentage bar diagram is helpful. Is that clear, everyone? Any doubt? So
No,
so this is the information, guys, and with this information we have to prepare the percentage bar diagram. So this time we have the information regarding different cost. Following items are being prepared: item A, B, C, D. A firm is producing these kind of product A, B, C, and the cost incurred on these product is raw material, wages, factory overhead, office overheads. All of these are expenses regarding different products. Now, using this kind of information, we have to prepare the percentage bar diagram. So can anyone tell me what will be the first step that we will be doing while preparing the percentage bar diagram? First of all, what we will do? We will
find the percentages.
Correct. We will first convert these values into the percentage. And once we find the percentage, then only we will be converting it into the percentage bar diagram. So this is how this will be converted into the percentage. So we have converted the value of raw material, wages, factory overhead, office overhead into the percentage. And this percentage will be now presented on the diagram. So see, this is how the presentation of the percentage bar diagram will look like. Tell me, guys,
Yes.
is this clear to everyone? Any doubt? Anything that anyone want to ask?
No doubt, sir.
Arisha, you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Peer, any doubt? Steve, any doubt? Okay, Peer is out. All right. So, guys, this is it for today's session in economics. I guess I hope everything that we have discussed in this chapter is clear to you. In the next class, we will be discussing about the pie diagram, and after that, we will also be discussing about ogives and histogram and other kind of bar diagram in this chapter. So we will try to finish this chapter in the next class, possibly. And there are various types of diagrams still left in the. So we will try to finish this chapter in the next class, and otherwise we will take one more session. So all in all, basically this will take around 3 sessions. All right, guys, thank you for attending this session. We will now take a break of 5 minutes, then we will start with the account session. All right. Thank you, Arisha. You can leave now.
Thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome.